Well, it started. Barbers now just raising their prices way too high. I'll be breaking down the 3 harsh warnings for barbers who actually want to raise their prices higher. Harsh warning number 1 is that you must be aware of the gap that you're now creating inside of your business. When barbers raise prices, there is going to be a dip in new clients. That gap that is now created is the time that it's going to take for you to refill the business back up again. Majority of barbers don't know how to get new clients at higher price points. That's why the majority of barbers who go up will stay at those price points for a fuck ton of time. And it all comes down to the fact they simply cannot refill the business back up again in an efficient time frame. Now listen, you should not raise prices unless you have a lever pool type system that you control to generate new clients into your business at higher price points. Because if you can't control the new client flow in the business, you have zero control at all over the entire business. Now let's say that you say, fuck my advice. Now you're just playing a game of Russian roulette where, look, you might get lucky once or twice raising your prices. But it only takes one price raise to get a bullet into your business, killing the whole fucking thing off. And what I mean by this is new client flow drops down, all of your clients go to cheaper barbers, and as a result, your monthly income tanks. Now, take Anthony, for instance. Anthony is now a barber that we work with inside the Elevated Mentorship Program. He was just another barber that was like looking to work with us, hopped on a call to kind of see what we did, and wanted to see if we could help him scale. But his pride and ego got the best of him, and he thought that he knew exactly what the fuck to do to scale his prices and grow his business. Because, well, in his mind, he knew how to raise prices. All he had to do was just make the announcement, and I guess everything would be fine to him. That's where he fucked up. What he didn't take into account for this was that because he was completely lost on how to generate new clients into his business at higher price points, he was basically playing a losing game to begin with. After a month or so after that initial call we had with him, he reached back out because he raised prices up to $60 because he thought he knew what he could do, but now had been only getting 5 clients every single week for the past 6+ weeks. Of course, once we started working them inside of the Elevated Mentorship Program, we had to bump his pricing down all the way to $30 a cut because he never built out a proper foundation ever in his business. He was just raising prices up randomly. Now, today he's charging $75 for a simple haircut. And yes, that's after a lot of fucking hard work, but he now has a business that's primed to go up to $100 in the next few months. Now, if you want to work with us and get results like Anthony, you can simply apply through the links down below, and we can jump on a Zoom call and take a deep dive into your business, just as long as you're not as hard-headed as Anthony was. All right, here's my second warning to all you barbers. Raising your prices now are not going to fix your business issues long-term. Let me explain. For most barbers, business is like a foreign language. The general consensus is that if I raise my prices, all of my problems will fix themselves and I'll be making more money as a barber. The harsh reality is every time you raise prices, you're basically starting a brand new business from scratch. And guess what? That brand new business has completely different problems. So if you already had prior problems in the business and now you add that on to the new problems into the business, you just got a problem fuckfest going on. And you're never going to be able to move the business forward beyond that point until all that shit's fixed. Look, honestly, fuck the price raise. You need to understand how to run the business like a business right now so that eventually you can actually retire and move on from barbering. Because what's the fucking point of raising your prices right now if you're still setting yourself up to be a barber working behind the chair 15 years from now, barely getting by month after month still? And yes, a lot of barbers fall victim to this because when barbers raise prices up, a lot of them get complacent with where they're at. They lose sight of the overall mission of like what to grow and how to grow the business beyond that point. And you can't grow if you're complacent, lazy, and just comfortable with knowing that you just raised your prices and think everything's going to be all peachy all of a sudden. Because life is going to give you a hard smack in the face and business will fuck you. My last harsh warning is you're playing with fire if you're raising prices with no cash reserves. It's such a deadly game. And look, a lot of you need to be making more money because honestly, you don't have that much in the bank account right now. And every single barber who runs their business like a business should at least have 10K in the bank. And if you don't, here's your fucking wake-up call. However, the majority of barbers think that their solution is all of a sudden going to be raising prices up. When in fact, again, that should be the last thing they think about. And instead, figure out how to keep more money that you're already making. Because it's very similar to why people who win the fucking lottery go broke. People who play the lottery do not know how to manage their money. This doesn't go for everybody, but you just already know that person that wins the lottery. They look like they have less than maybe even less than $100 in their bank account. And because they don't know how to manage their money, they play a gambling game in order to win big and get themselves out of being broke. Then when they actually do win big, they have zero clue on how to manage hundreds of millions of dollars. And they just end up blowing within a few months or in a few years. So look, if you're needing more money, the price raise is the last thing I would go to, because you need to be developing financial discipline, tracking your income, and keeping more of the money that you already make before you start trying to add more into that pile.